When I get overwhelmed, it's bad. Like when I get overwhelmed, I either cry to let it out, or I get really stressed out. I get like anxious. In some cases, my eczema flares up really bad. Like stress and I, like we don't get along. Like we really don't get along. And usually that happens when I'm overwhelmed. Um, when I'm overwhelmed, it's like a tunnel vision almost. Like I'm focusing on that one thing and I can't seem to move away from it. And because I can't seem to move away from it, it overwhelms me even more. Which is why sometimes I need someone to slow me down, like, hey, relax here. That kind of helped me guide through it, which is something I didn't really have growing up. So basically, it was all on me and go, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to help me not get overwhelmed so much? What can I do? And in some cases, I do cry because basically, I guess it's like a cathartic release or some sort of coping mechanism. Of course, I do my best not to cry in front of people, but things happen. But I do my best not to cry. I will either step away from the situation before I start to obsess over it to a point where I get tunnel vision, and that's not really a good idea. It's just that's what I do when I'm overwhelmed. When I'm overwhelmed, I have to get away from the situation. It's not running away. It's like, okay, give me a moment. Let me back away from the situation. Give me a moment. And then when it seems like, okay, I think I can do this. I think I'm back to that mental state where, okay, fine, then I'll go and do it. There are times where, I can't cry, I can't do anything of this because it's not really going to help the situation and it's not going to solve it. So basically, when it comes to those things, okay, let me keep going, but let me do it in small increments. Okay, this and that. Let me try this angle. Let me try that angle. So that's what I do when I'm overwhelmed. I remember one time in this previous job I had, it was a warehouse, a distribution warehouse, or distribution center, however you want to call it. And I was working in the packaging area. And we have I don't know if you call them lines or departments, whatever you want to call them. But we have pre-sort where we pre-sort the items and they'll either go to manual or auto. Manual is basically like manual. You're walking up and down the aisles. You're getting whatever totes and putting whatever items from those totes into whatever boxes are sent out. Then you're closing the boxes and then you're sending them out. And it's the same thing as auto, but with auto, a machine is actually sorting through those items, putting them in the boxes that need to be put in, and then you're basically sort of making sure the jams are out the way. Basically, what do you call it? I don't know. There was a way. What we do is like we would make sure, like we would go through the boxes and just like not sort through them, but like I don't know. But it was like we would put we would organize the boxes so that way the items that went in those boxes wouldn't wouldn't, I don't know. It was to prevent jamming, I don't know. And then things like that. And then we would do whatever light turned on. It was, hey, you need to close it. So that was that. I remember one time we were getting slammed and the OM I had just, oh my God, was really bad at planning. Yeah. Obviously they would have the amount, like the goal. Hey, this is the goal we want you guys to hit. This is the amount of stuff that we have on hand. This is the amount that's going to go in manual. This is the amount that we're just going to go in auto. So let's say auto has more than manual. You should have a good amount of people in auto. Let's say manual is going to have a good amount other than auto. You need to have a good amount of people in manual. Things like that. It was It was one of those times. And one time I was put in auto, and we were getting slammed. And I was basically alone on this wall that had closes up and down the aisle, both sides of these aisles. And I was just like, okay, here you are trying to keep up the pace, but at the same time trying to make sure you don't overdo it yourself. And I was getting anxious because first off, I had both walls, whole walls being filled up. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting overwhelmed here. I'm getting anxious. Let me step away from this. Let me go to another aisle, do some closes there, and then go back there. That's how I work. And then, this stupid girl. She was new, and then somehow she managed to be a trainer. Like, how the heck does that work? I was like a lot longer than she was. And the attitude changes and stuff like that. And the thing of it is, I wasn't being rude, but then again, if you're being rude to me, I'm going to throw it right back at you. And I remember she was like, well, there's stuff there. Why can't you go back there? And I said, I need a moment. Give me a moment, okay? Unless someone's going to help me out there, I'm only one person. So if no one's going to help me, okay, all right, fine. Give me a moment. Just a moment. I will go back there when I'm ready to go. Give me a moment. I'm overwhelmed. Give me a moment. And that's it. I wasn't being overwhelmed. It was just like, back up. Back up. Because I'm not a good person when I'm stressed out, when I'm overwhelmed. I am not a good person. So don't be snapping at me because I will snap right back at you. So I wasn't trying to be rude to her, but like I said, give me a moment. Give me a moment. It's true. And it's true. If no one's going to help me out with that, and I'm only one person, if someone's going to be, if the OM was going to send more people, great. If not, back up. That's how I am. Give me a moment. If you're not going to help me out and you're going to give me a hard time, then shut up. I don't want to hear from you. That's how I am. I mean, come on. If someone would ask me, hey, are you all right? I would be like, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I'm basically on my own over here. If you can help me, great. If not, just please give me a moment and I'll get right back to it. That's it. There's a way to talk to people and there's a way to ask. But yeah, the job got done because I did it. Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, that's how I was. The way she looked at me was like, are you freaking serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Back up, Jack. But yeah, when I'm overwhelmed, I'll either cry or I'll have to take myself out of the situation, back up a bit, reassess the situation, find whatever angle will work for me without getting me to a point where I'm going to cry. And I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. So, okay, how do I back up? So that's my way of coping with when I'm overwhelmed. Because Stress and I, we don't do very well together. And like in my lifetime so far, I know for a fact I've only had 2 anxiety attacks. One when I was in 4th grade. 4th grade was not a good year for me. And the form that the anxiety attack took was me basically tossing up everything. Like my breakfast, my lunch, everything. That's how bad the anxiety was. And the funny part was it wasn't really like, it was more like, I know this is nasty, but it was more like phlegm. Like, wow, like, I don't remember this. It was more like phlegm. And I would always remember this woman, like, I think I remember it was heading to the nurse's office because it got really bad. It was like every few minutes I was tossing it. And I remember heading to the nurse's office, and this woman, they were with those, you had the teacher aides, and now you had the safety aides or the safety team, whatever they were, and they were mostly on the playground, making sure people were, following the rules, being safe and stuff like that. Majority of them were freaking mean. Oh my God, so mean. I remember there was one of them around the corner. So I remember I was walking upward and one of them was running around the corner. And instead of leaving me alone or simply asking, hey, where did you come from? What are you doing in the hall? Then again, it wouldn't matter. I mean, mind your business. But, instead of asking me in a calm tone, hey, what are you doing? Are you okay? Are you heading out there? What's going on? She went, what is going on? What are you doing? You're supposed to be outside. As soon, it was, I don't know. Like, I don't know if she made me even more stressed out or it was already coming out to begin with, but I tossed it right in front of her. I hurried to the trash can. I was like, bleh. It shut her up real quick. That's the funny part. It shut her up real quick. And I guess as good as the nurse's office, how far is it? Yeah, but she learned real quick. And then another time, this actually happened at the same place uh, where I was overwhelmed the first time. Out of nowhere, I had like an anxiety. I was like, oh my God, what is it? I didn't even know what happened. I don't know if I was overwhelmed and all of a sudden uh, an anxiety happened and I didn't know I was overwhelmed. Like, it was bad. I was like, okay, I need to do something. I'm like, okay, let me back away from this. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me relax. Something like, because I didn't know what happened. But it came out of nowhere. I was like, I don't feel overwhelmed and stuff like that. And then again, the job I had was daunting. We were working from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It was an overnight shift. So I'm guessing that maybe at that moment in time, my body was just telling me, hey, you need to back up or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I do when I'm overwhelmed. I will either cry because that's the only way I can think of. And after I cry, I'm better. I'm like, okay, let me get back to work. Or I'll step away from the situation to a point where I feel like, okay, I think I'm ready to go. Let me go take this challenge on and go from there. But yeah, that's what I do. I mean, when I'm overwhelmed, I need a moment. Sometimes you just need to take a moment and breathe.